Welcome everyone to Never Alone Live. Here we are again. We have Krista, Sober Barbie here. I'm Johnny, and we are going to be talking about a great topic today. It's December, and it's the 12th month, and being a 12 stepper, the 12th step says having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message and practice these principles in all our affairs. So we're talking today about carrying the message. How important is this, Krista?
It's so important. I feel like it's because we didn't go through all this for no reason, and there's so many people out there that just don't know what to do. You don't know what you don't know. Like when I got sober, I didn't know anyone sober. And there was like this black cloud over rehab and AA, and um, I didn't even know how good it really was until I was actually like put through it. But I feel it deep down in my soul. It's to help the next man. And I love talking about recovery. I love telling people how to heal, like telling people my journey on healing, because they will get something out of it. You're on mute if you knew that.
I always say the best things when I'm on mute. Okay,
Yeah.
who we got joining us today? Brandy's with us, Kelly's with us, Tammy's with us, Adam's with us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever we are. We're talking about helping others today. And I really like what you just said there, because you never know when it's going to pop up, we're gonna let's do a little shout outs. I'm wearing my Recover Out Loud hoodie for those who can see it. It has my sober date on it, Recover Out Loud. It's got Recover Out Loud all over it. And you're wearing
Sober
period.
But it's soberhats.com. They got the good hats too. And it says Recover Out Loud on the back. And I'll tell you what, every time I wear something like this out, I always wear recovery. I have so many recovery shirts and stuff, but whenever I wear something, someone comes up to me. It's either like someone whose son is in recovery, or someone who needs or wants to get sober, or it like puts something in their brain to like say something, and it's just so inspiring.
Okay, we've got Amanda here and Tiffany here. I'm telling you, all our friends are here. And this is we're talking about an amazing topic, and this Recover Out Loud stuff. I've never had t-shirts, never had hoodies, never had any of this. I went to a lot of meetings and we talked, and anybody that I came into contact with, but now you rock a sober hat every now and then, and people will come up to you and say, "What's up?" This Recover Out Loud hoodie. I love this thing, and people ask questions. And today I can talk about my recovery. Today I can talk about it, and I can do this out loud, and hopefully because this is what we are, right? We're dealers of hope. We're dealers of hope today. And used to deal dope, now I deal hope. And and we're living different lives, and we get to be positive influences, and people can see that if they change their life, they can have a better life. And it's we're all flawed. We've all still got problems, still got issues, but my issues are a hell of a lot easier today because I am sober. Today I have a chance. Today I have a chance. Before I didn't have a chance. I had a what is it when you does quicksand. I was in quicksand everywhere I went, and I was just digging and just getting deeper and deeper. Today we can do things, and we can help people. And that's what we're talking about today, working with others. All right, so I've got questions for you. Questions.
I have answers. I'm ready. I'm always ready.
You got the answers. If I got the questions, you got the answers. That's why we're a team. So, what was your inspiration? Remember when when you first got sober and you saw other people doing this, right? What was your inspiration for helping others?
I just always I want to put myself in someone else's shoes. I want to um I feel like that's where I have a lot of empathy, and I have a lot of I see the other person for what they are, and I wish someone would have told me like my story. I swear if I would have heard my story in my late teens, early 20s, that my journey would have started a lot sooner. But I'm grateful it started when it did, because I wouldn't be where I am today. But I just I think that's the benefit of too with social media. I'm able to maybe come across someone's For You page, and they might need to hear it. It might not click right away, but it'll be in their brain for when they're ready. Like, oh wait, that girl was facing 20 years in prison and chose treatment. She got out of it. Maybe if I make this choice, I can be free. And or like what I've gone through with my husband, and like you want to give up on that person, but you see us like work through it and make something of it, and something beautiful comes out of it. And just I wish I would have heard what I went through. Like I wish I would have heard someone's story. And it makes me want to. That's what inspires me, is like hearing other people's stories. Like hearing in rehab, I heard some awesome testimonies, real life testimonies, and I'm like, whoa. Or the stories even in the back of that blue book, like just other people's testimonies inspired me.
It's so amazing. And that when I was new, right, I saw these old comers that were at the meetings, the same meetings I was at to try to learn how to get sober. All these guys with 20, 30 years. And it was like, why do you keep coming back here week in, week out, And they said they had to give it away to keep it. And that was inspirational. Those words, I had to give it away to keep it.
Mhm.
The whole premise of AA was built on one alcoholic talking to another alcoholic, and it's all about helping others. It's all about working with others. But my real inspiration was this guy Brian, who I talk about a lot.
Mhm.
He passed away sober, and he was the coolest guy you ever saw in your entire life. He had this slick back hair, and he was just so awesome. But he worked with the guys that nobody else wanted to work with. He took on the sponsees that had some mental health issues. He took on anybody who wanted help. If you wanted help, he was gonna give it. And did all of them stay sober? No, but he stayed sober. And it was so inspirational to see that and to be present for that. And then, as I got a little time under my belt, I wanted to work with people. I wanted to share what I'd been so freely given. And, fortunately over the years, I've been allowed to, teach the book to a lot of people. And it's been amazing to see people get the light back in their eyes,
Mhm.
see people get the shine back in their smile, to have real laughter. It's amazing. It's amazing. Working with others is by far one of the I think this might be one of my favorite topics that we've talked about. Just because it's critical. It's critical
Yeah.
for my own sobriety.
Yeah. And it's really anything in life. So even before I realized what I was doing, I mean, I worked the steps and I got to step 12, and I get that. But like, I didn't even realize in other parts of my life how working with others was helping me, because recovery is for everyone. Just a basic tool to just help. This 12 steps help everyone. And you don't even realize it, but some people are living it and they don't even notice it. But like anything in life, from like I'm a stepmom, and that's not an easy job. I was finding stepmom support groups or loving an addict support groups. I didn't even realize it, but I was working with others in those areas of my life too. And it just talking to another human that's going through the same thing. Grief. I lost my fiance 8 years ago. Like just talking, you create this bond with someone who's going through it too, and that's why we're put through it, is to help the next person, and it's just so therapeutic.
It really is. So let's jump over to comments for a second because there was a really, really good one. There's actually a couple good ones in here. Scott Laborde. Scott Laborde. He said when we were talking about being hope dealers, he says, I'm a dopeless hope fiend.
I love
A
that. That
hopeless
should be a
dope
shirt.
fiend. That I'm telling you, we need to call Dan. Um, and then Tiffany, our friend Tiffany. Tiffany is our friend now, and she comes in all the TikTokies, and we love her so much. But she is the trooper that's been here with us on every Never Alone Live. We love you, Tiffany. And she says, what inspired me was that I didn't want to see more people go down the same dark road that I faced. To be able to be that light for someone else. That's amazing, Tiffany. I love that. Being someone else's light, because that's what we are.
We're a lighthouse. Yeah.
We're a lighthouse, and for the lost. And I was lost, but now I am found. Brandy, if you're here, I know you like that one. I was lost, but now I am found. And we get to help people, and if they haven't been where we were, we get to help them so they don't have to go there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And then our friend Tammy, we love Tammy. Tammy, it was the feeling it gave me, feeling useful. I felt so useless. The people that welcomed me and made me a part of inspired me to do it for others.
I love that.
So good, Tammy. I'm telling you, that was the feeling of uselessness disappears after we do. These are in the 9th step promises. The feelings of uselessness disappear. And this is why, because we are suddenly able to be of use. Our stories, after we go through them in the 4th step, the 5th step, and once we get through these steps, all these secrets from our past that we were never going to tell anybody, they become our best assets and our tools to help other people, to relate to other people. And being able to share your story with someone else allows them to share theirs with and it's a trust. It's so amazing. And that feeling of being useful, it builds self-esteem. When we come in and we have no self-esteem, how do we build self-esteem? We do esteemable acts, and helping others is pretty esteemable. I love that. Those are some good ones, huh?
Yeah. And there's just so much like freedom and peace that comes with like being around other people that have gone through what you've gone through. Like, you guys are hearing the worst thing I ever did in my whole life that kept me in some shame and remorse and regret, but they love me so much, and it's almost more than unconditional love. Like the compassion, and just there's just so much peace that comes in it, because like the normal person might judge you for that, but the people that have gone through it like see that you worked through it, and we create this bond. We have this like unshakable bond. It's pretty amazing.
And what's crazy is like, I went to a lot of meetings, and I know you went to a lot of meetings, and it's not like every time you go to a meeting you have this big Yahoo yay moment. It's like kind of go, 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 and it's like a culmination of all of it just leads to kind of like what just happened here? And it was that, and I think that's what a lot of people don't get. That a lot of people don't get it. They go to a meeting and they're like, you have to go to a bunch of them, and because God is present at all of them, and you have to get involved and actually create these relationships with like-minded people. Newcomers come around, man. I'm telling you, the first one, the last one in the door, and the first one out the door, and they are gone. But they went to a meeting, and and I've seen some of those stick around because they go to a lot of them, but a lot of them don't, because they don't get involved. They don't, we want to talk to you. We want to be friends with you. But we need you to talk. We need you to stick around. Back in my day, we still had ashtrays at the meetings, and stuck around and cleaned some ashtrays with the boys, and that was it. That's where I began my real fellowship, was cleaning ashtrays at the Red Door meeting.
Yeah, I was the girl that stayed after wanting to talk for like an hour after. I love the after meeting. Like, I love just it's like the networking, and then you end up finding someone that's so similar to what you've gone through, and I've made some of my best friends that way.
I made all of my friends that way.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, who I haven't talked to in a while, but he moved out to California, but he was the beginning of my sobriety, and we've been friends for coming up on 22 years, and I've got a lot of those relationships, friends from the first meeting that I went to, and it's these are real bonds, real relationships, and we kind of went through the trenches together, and it's important, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know? Oh, this is a good one. This is where we're going a little tricky here. How do you know when you're giving too much of yourself? That's where
I'm still figuring that one out.
I know, right? I was told that this is a yes program. And we say yes to things when they come along. Do you want to give a lead? Yes. Do you want to be my sponsor? Yes. Do you want to clean ashtrays? Yes. Do you want to make coffee? Yes. Do you want to, and once you're gonna, if you have the attraction, people want what you have. People are gonna come up to you. They're gonna say it a lot, and when is that? When do you turn that off switch off?
I have to pay attention to I still have to keep in touch with my network and my sponsor and stuff too, because I have to, like, other people have to remind me every once in a while and be like, Krista, you have to remember, you have to have room on your plate for you as well. Because I remember I was trying to help someone get into treatment. It was just like we were hitting dead end after dead end after dead end. And I just didn't want to give up, because that person was not going to make it. They were not going to survive if I didn't find the little door to get through to get, because my state is just, it's funky when it comes to finding detox. And it sometimes is a hard road to go on. And I remember someone going, Krista, hold up. Remember, you got to make sure you're good too. Because how good am I if I'm not good myself, I can't help others. And, but the guy ended up getting to detox and treatment, and is years sober now. But I just remember that moment, and I play that tape back in my head too. Like, okay, wait, I got to make sure I'm good too. And I can't play God. I'm not God. And yeah, it just being reminded that I gotta take care of myself too, because you can get wrapped up in trying to save the world, we can't.
I like what you said there. You can't give away what you don't have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by spreading yourself too thin, you kind of lose some of that luster. I know I've done it. But I think the big word is balance.
Yeah.
And you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a sponsor, you're a sponsee, you're an employee, you do all sorts of stuff, and you wear a lot of hats, and you gotta balance. It's a tough balancing act.
Yeah, for sure. But once you do find that balance and find the groove, like, I won't take on more than I can handle. Like, I just got my first sponsee, like, because I knew I had so much on my plate, and I didn't want to take on something that I couldn't give all my attention. Like, I didn't want to fail someone. So I know my limits, if that makes sense. Like, it took me a while to learn them, but Yeah, and you got to remember, this is a life or death thing we deal with here, and you don't want to take someone's life in your hands like that. You got to figure out and use, and that's why we do have these networks. There's more people. Like, it's really cool to see how I love the rooms of AA, and like someone needs a ride to treatment and they all volunteer. Like, there's someone that's going to show up, and it's cool. They kind of spread themselves out so everyone can help where they can, you know.
I'm always a little jealous of the retired guys that can sit at the meeting all day long and then go and do stuff like this, and
Yeah.
some of us we got to go to work. We got to do
Yeah.
jobs. We got to do all sorts of stuff, and you know, but I'm at the same time, I'm a firm believer that God doesn't give us more than we can handle,
Yeah.
and everything it's God is everything or God is nothing. Everything that happens is God. And when someone approaches us, good, bad, or indifferent, because we get a lot of different people that it's going to approach us. I've had a bunch of guys that have gotten. They said, "Oh, Johnny, I want to work with you," blah blah blah, and then we're 3 weeks into it, we're working the steps, and then they talk about money. Oh man, if I only had $100, and that's when it gets tricky because we're working with sick people. We're
Yeah.
working
We
with
have to remember that too.
we're working with alcoholics. We're working with addicts. We are great manipulators,
For
and
sure.
we have to be cautious about that too. Where are we spending our time? What are we doing? Um, and God has a way of weeding everything out. And He puts people in our life for a reason. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Right? I love that line. Look at
Yeah.
me. I love quoting lines out of the Big Book,
Yeah.
and because they're all so poignant and true, and it's a heavy one. So Tiffany, our friend Tiffany, we asked the question, when do you say when with someone? When are we giving too much of ourselves? And she said, when my mood starts changing. I notice
Mhm.
for myself when I give too much and I'm not enjoying my meetings or conversations as much anymore. Man, that's a big one. If my mood changes, then I'm changing. Everything's changing. How can I teach happy, joyous, and free if I'm not happy, joyous, and free?
Right.
How can I give patience, tolerance, acceptance if I'm not patient, tolerant, or accepting? And that all comes with it, that change of mood. That's a great look at Tiffany dropping bombs
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, because it's important we lead by example, because that's literally all we can do. You can't save someone that doesn't want to be saved. And all you can do is literally lead by example and pray that they fall in line, and you're not leading by example if you're not in a good mood. Who wants to be miserable?
Okay, so here's another good one. Here's another doozy. We got some doozies today. How do you support others without taking responsibility for their recovery? Oh, I'm telling you, this was a lesson hard learned for me. I know that.
Same.
We want to work with people, they want to work with us. It's inevitable that we're going to take a little bit of responsibility. This is now I'm in it with you. We're in the trenches together. We're doing this, and I've got a lot of guys that I've sponsored, and not all of them stayed sober. And I remember my very first sponsee. I think I wasn't even a year sober, and I shouldn't have even been in the situation. But I was at a dance, the only dance I ever went to, and he comes up to me and asked me to be a sponsor, and I'm wigging. I didn't know what to do, and I went over and I talked to my guys, and they told me this is a yes program, and so I went back over to the guy. I said yes, and I said, "Here's my number. Call me every day." And then my guys, they were all sorts of proud, right? And we went out for pizza that night, and it was a to do. And then I never heard from that guy ever again. you know
Yeah.
so it's we're not responsible for anyone else's recovery. We can't make anyone else recover, right?
No, it's literally offering the suggestions. And if they want it, they'll take it. And I remember because I was literally the only one sober and proud in my community. And I knew of the couple rehabs. And so for the last 10 years, I have been the safe place where like moms or people who are ready for treatment they reach out and they're like, where's a rehab or where are the meetings? Or because I'm just very out and open about my recovery. And so many have reached out and then you never hear from them again. And I remember one time going, they didn't even say thank you. They didn't even say thank you. Like I gave them it took an hour for me to come up with all these different options of treatments and stuff. And I'm like, they didn't even say thank you. But something cool though. So like there's many times that it's late night and they're like asking me and I like you said, you say yes. So I don't ignore the message that comes in. A lot of them come through Facebook Messenger and or they don't want anyone knowing, that they're asking about it or whatever. And I remember helping this girl, it was her sister. And then she gave me her sister's number. And, sometimes if I'm like, have them reach out to me. But sometimes I feel it in my soul. I'll just send a text, like, hey, I'm here for you if you need it. And I remember working with this girl, giving her all these options. And then I never heard from her again. And then I went to a recovery walk it was like 2 months ago. And this girl, she's speaking on microphone saying she's a year sober and that she was from my hometown. And I didn't recognize her. But I went up, I felt I needed to go up to her and say, congratulations on your year, And then I go, you might know my husband, because they were like around the same age. And she goes, oh my God, you helped me over a year ago. Like she took the info I gave her and actually used it. And it melted my heart that like some of it does stay with them. And who knows, like they could refer back to when we did help them, just not in that time, but it does make a difference.
And going through this process with you, with all the stuff that we do, we go on TikTok every day. We're here, we do this, we've got Zoom meetings that we do together, and hearing all the people that have been inspired by your stories and your reels and your videos and stuff you post on, because you've had social media and you've been doing this for a long time, and people have kind of seen you grow over the past X amount of years. They've seen Bubba grow over the past year. I mean, they've watched the whole story because you've put it out there for them to see. And so I know, I mean, how many? I couldn't tell you how many people say, "Sober Barbie, you changed us. You changed things." It was let's talk about that. Tell me what you do, how you do what you do, and why you do what you do.
It's really still hard for me to take a compliment. And like when people say that kind of stuff, because it's really not me, it's God. I'm just a vessel. I'm just here doing what God wants me to do. And it's hard for me to take the credit, but I don't want people like Tiffany, I think said it. It's just, you don't want people to maybe they don't have to hit the rock bottom you hit. And that recovery isn't such a, like there's no black cloud over it. It's actually for everyone. And there's more families affected than the actual addict. And I've been the addict and I've loved one, so I know what it's like for both sides. And I used to catch crap for saying I do think it's harder to love one because like you have no control and it's literally like, oh, I just hope you make it. And I think it's important to show the hard times and the raw and the real, and it's not always butterflies and rainbows and stuff happens. Like my husband got sober a year ago, but we're still living through a lot of the repercussions of what his relapse did. And like, it's important to show us going through the hard times, but it's the recovery tools that are giving us hope and helping us work through it. Like even with raising our children, like my kids, watching them, I'm not forcing them to say sorry when they argue. They're 4 and 6 and they argue a lot. And my mom growing up, she was always like, so you better say sorry to your sister. And like, I don't even have to do it. And they'll like say what they did wrong. They make like a proper amends and then they change their behavior. And it's really cool because they're like watching us. And it's an outlet for me too. I want, it's nice to just get it out, and I'm not going to explode. And I mean, the numbers don't lie on these
Yeah,
apps.
I mean, you got
I mean,
videos. You
I
got
do get a
video.
lot of hate too. I get a lot of hate
Oh
too,
yeah.
but I tell them, thanks for boosting my video.
I mean, you got videos with millions and millions of views. People are watching this. This is important stuff. This is, it wouldn't be watched if it wasn't important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what you're doing with just kind of posting your life. And honestly, I don't think everybody in the world should.
No,
I
but
think
I
that
want to also give hope to people that maybe you should be doing it. Maybe this will help you to share. Maybe someone needs to hear your story. You can do it too if you want. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Our buddy Justin is here. What's up, Justin? Haven't seen you in a minute. And Mike from Sober Hats was in here for a minute too. Sober Hats, and now he's got sweatshirts. And Megan, can you put the Sober Hats website into the comments, please?
He does have 15% off his whole site right now. Use Sober15 at soberhats.com. Shameless plug.
We should become pitchmen. And start doing infomercials. Hi, everybody. Let me tell you about the Deluxe Clean-O-Matic.
I mean, it's good stuff.
Yes. So it's right there, soberhats.com. And while you're at it, can you put in the Recover Out Loud website as well? If anybody's interested in any of these kind of things, I think he's got a December sale going on as well. And this is just we love these guys, and they're awesome. So we love talking about what.
And they're in recovery too, so it's a mission they're on.
Absolutely.
It's their 12th step.
Okay, so here's an interesting question. How do you approach someone who may not be ready yet? Ooh, that's a good one.
Hard one. It's a case by case. It's case by case because you never know. And when I kind of stay clear of the people who are actually like intoxicated or on, like you can't talk to someone who's drunk. Like it's literally kind of impossible to tell them. And I highly recommend saying to go to rehab. I do not do that. Do not tell someone to just that they need help. Like you're going to make them feel more shameful and like you're not going to make them feel good. But just meeting them where they're at. You have to just love them for where they are in that moment. And I remember my husband, someone told me, like, think of it like a disease, like a brain tumor. Like, are you going to judge someone for doing something dumb because they have a brain tumor? No. Like, because you're going to tell me that the man that cries when my kids have a bloody nose is going to walk away and choose drugs over their family. Like, that's not him. So I had to like meet him where he was at. And like, I say this all the time, when someone is, because they're not always, it doesn't always feel great to be drunk or high all the time. Like they're going to have moments of clarity. They're going to have moments where they want help. And it's like a window being open a little bit. And that's your opportunity to say, hey, here's a detox or here's a treatment option or go to a meeting with me. And if they don't move in that moment, that window's going to shut. But it's going to open again. It's going to open again. So just always be ready and just pray and lead by example. And that's literally all you can do. But always be ready. Just have it in your back pocket.
That's why I study the book the way I study the book, because I need to have this information at hand. And this is an interesting question. And so in November 1934, when Bill Wilson had been into rehab twice. Well, it wasn't really rehab, but it was in the hospital twice. He learned about the allergy and it didn't take. And he went back to drinking both times. And it wasn't until he sat with Ebby and he was sitting there drinking. he was sitting there getting hammered, having himself a good old time, letting Ebby rant about finding God and finding recovery. And it was in that conversation that Bill finally figured this out. And, so even when somebody's drinking, you never know when you're going to plant that seed. But you got to be willing to get out and plant that seed, So, it's any opportunity, but you got to be armed with the information, Then, the information is your story, your testimony, being able to share that and share it well. I suggest practicing
Yeah.
If you plan on talking to people about your life, you should kind of have kind of a timetable and to be like, okay, this was this and this and this and this, and this is, just to kind of organize it. And then, know a little bit about the solution. You got to know at least a little bit about the solution, because if you come to the table without a solution, then it's just a bunch of problems. Having the solution at hand, then it's actually worthwhile. And so your testimony with a bit of the solution, you don't have to just throw it in their face and say, oh, you got to find God, that, and you never know, maybe that works.
You got to kind of sell it to them, it's kind of like a sales pitch in a way. It's like anything you want in life. Like, I don't know, like convincing my kids to want to brush their teeth. I got to tell them, hey, the tooth fairy's not going to come if you don't, like, you got to kind of sell it to them a little bit.
The Deluxe Clean-O-Matic.
Make it what do they say? It's attraction, not promotion. You got to make it attractive.
You do. You got to make it attractive. When I went to meetings, if they were just a bunch of sad saps sitting around moping and about horrible things, I wouldn't want to go back to that. But I went there and they were laughing. They laughed and laughed and laughed. My grandmother, who I talk about frequently, it was her and her girlfriends that, they were each sober for 26 years when I got clean. And they would just sit and giggle and snort and fart and everything else. They were the most awesome women ever. And it was seeing that laughter, that happiness. It's contagious. I want that. I want that laughter. I want that happiness. I want that joyousness. We have to be the example, and then we have to sell how we got the example, how we got to be this example. And so I thought that was a pretty good question.
That is a good question.
Yes. So let's what do you wish you knew then that you know now? So when you were early in recovery, you wanted to help people. What was it that you didn't know then that you wish you knew? And what was it that you wish you knew then that you know now?
I kind of wish I knew about the faith-based recovery programs back then. I mean, it took me a lot. I know the way it all worked out, it did for a reason, but I wish I kind of knew how to incorporate the Bible with my recovery a lot sooner, because I am in a faith-based recovery group that I literally changed everything. So I kind of wish I knew more about that. And I also wish I was a little more open-minded about the different other kind of recoveries, because I'm a one-chip wonder. AA worked for me, and I was very closed-minded for a long time. I'm like, I watch these 80-pound girls kick heroin with the Benadryl. Like, why can't you? Like, what? Like, I watched it like it was abstinence, or, they weren't on anything. There was no MAT. Like, I was against all that kind of stuff. But then I watched the progression of the illicit stuff, and like how that has that's a beast, and that grasps onto these people a lot harder than I personally experienced how alcohol had a grip on me. Like, it's crazy and how it's evolving so fast. But there are so many ways of recovery. Like, I didn't even know what NA was when I was getting because one way worked, and if it wasn't broken, I wasn't gonna fix it, and it was working. But I I got in a couple little arguments and a little fights with other people thinking my way was the way that worked. I mean, it does work for a lot of people, but not everyone. And I kind of wish I knew about the other ways of recovery and stuff. But
Yeah, I didn't.
I do now, and I'm
I
very
didn't.
open-minded.
Oh yeah, and honestly, this platform and the TikTok platform and everything that we're doing and watching other people, the interview we did with Jackie, man, was it so powerful. And I didn't really have an opinion either way on the MAT program. If it works for you, it works for you. Great. If it if you're not into it, you're not into it. Great. Um, but the way she explained it when we interviewed her and we talked about, because it was trauma that led to drug abuse and addiction, and then having to get past that trauma and beat addiction simultaneous, and her being on the MAT program and going down and down and down, and she's clean now and successful and doing well and getting and moving past the trauma. It'll always be there, but moving past it so she can have that happy, joyous, and free life. If anybody doesn't follow Jackie Ferris, you definitely should, because she's another good one.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of cool interviews this year.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of cool interviews. Kyle's story, oh my goodness, Kyle's story was so powerful. Megan, can you drop Jackie Ferris's page in here as well as Kyle's? Because Kyle just, he is out, and he's got such a story, and sheriff that got addicted, went to jail, came out, harsh realities, but now he's out speaking, and he's leading groups and doing all this stuff, and it's so amazing, his story too, right? That was
And these stories don't have an end. They keep going, and they're just more powerful and more. The next chapter keeps getting better and better, and watching what they're doing, and it's cool.
It's so cool, and I'm telling you, and this platform alone just has opened my mind personally to all sorts of different avenues that I never thought of before. And just like you, I got sober in AA, never looked back. It was fine. Didn't nothing was broken. Why fix it? And now looking at all these other programs, I see the beauty. I see the beauty in all of them, and and in different religions. I was anti-religion, and now I am a Christian that follows Jesus, and I can say that loud and proud now. And but I also, if you are not a Christian, if you're a Buddhist, if you're Muslim, if you're whatever, whatever works for you is all that matters. Whatever is your relationship with your higher power, as long as you got one.
And be bold with it. Don't be ashamed, and now you can have a voice. It's cool. I love it.
Okay. So we've got so many cool comments. Tiffany, I'm telling you, Tiffany's been dropping knowledge all day long.
Maybe she'll come on here.
Maybe we should have Tiffany on here.
Yeah.
She's been here since day one. Maybe she can take over. She knows what to do.
Yeah.
This has been great. What did we miss? Did we miss anything on working with others? And I mean, I love the 12 step. We can talk about this all day long. But I think this has been awesome, and you know what? It's just in talking about it is, I think, inspirational, because it's like it makes me want to go do something right now. What can we do next?
Yeah, and there's no one way to help someone. Like you said, you used to clean ashtrays. That is part of the solution. Like holding the door open for the people walking in the rooms, or answering a phone call, or just being an ear, just listening to someone vent, or giving someone a ride, or putting that dollar in the basket. It's all service work, and you're literally a disciple of what you're what you believe in and what you're doing.
Oh, I think that's a topic for our next time. Next time, we've got some interviews coming up over the next few weeks, but next time it's just me and you. We're gonna talk about sir. I'm gonna write that down.
I come up with some good stuff every once in a
You
while.
do. You come up with good stuff all the time. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us today. God loves you. We love you. And feel free, reach out. Reach out. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to Krista.
I'm always here. Please do. It helps me. And your mistakes don't define you. You guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you next week.